years, this belief has grown into a movement. What began in 2024 as a student-led case study competition has now become a nationwide ecosystem through competitions, college impact chapters, panel discussions, and collaborations across 2,500 plus colleges, engaging over 1,35,000 plus students. But this story isn't about us. It's about a generation choosing to show up for India. When young people find purpose and community, they don't just participate in growth, they lead it. The Nation Building Conclave 2026 is our effort to deepen this shift by bringing together leaders, institutions, media, and youth to engage in conversations that truly matter. So today, we will host 4 powerful panels on balancing career, cause, and country, India's economic trajectory, youth and digital public infrastructure, and reimagining healthcare. We hope this conclave is not just about listening, but participation, questioning, and gaining clarity on what it truly means to build a career rooted in purpose and national progress. Once again, I welcome you all to the Nation Building Conclave 2026. Before we move ahead, I would like to give a walkthrough of today's schedule. The conclave features 4 one-hour panel discussions with short transition breaks and a 10-minute audience engagement segment in each. We begin with panel 1, The New Indian Dream, Balancing Career, Cause and Country. After a short break, panel 2 will run on The Big Shift, Is India Entering Its Global Economic Era, examining India's economic momentum and what it means for the next generation. The panel 3 will follow on role of youth in enhancing India's stack and AI, Digital India, inclusive tech innovation, where we will discuss how young minds are shaping India's digital public infrastructure and emerging technologies. We then break for lunch. After lunch, we will reconvene at 2:45 p.m. for our final discussion on reimagining healthcare for young India, longevity, lifestyle, and preventive care, focusing on the future of well-being in a rapidly evolving society. Following the final session, there will be time to interact with our panelists, connect with fellow students, and engage with the organizing team post we conclude the day with the closing remarks. Now, before we begin, a few quick requests to all of our participants. Please adhere to the schedule so that discussions remain smooth and meaningful. Keep your phones on silent and avoid conversations during panels. Try to minimize movement to avoid disturbing the sessions. Also, please scan the QR on the back of your ID cards to submit your questions for the panelists. And if you need any help, our organizing team is available throughout the venue, so feel free to reach out. Thank you all for your cooperation. Now, to take this conversation forward, I am pleased to invite our moderator for this session. Everyone, please put your hands together and welcome Ms. Sikta Dio. Ms. Sikta Dio is a distinguished Indian news anchor and television journalist with nearly 3 decades of experience across prime-time anchoring, field reporting, and editorial leadership. Currently a contributing editor and senior anchor at NDTV, she leads flagship shows and high-impact on-ground editorial assignments with rare authority and credibility. Her reporting spans India's defining moments, from elections and national crisis to conflict and climate storytelling. She is widely respected for calm, people-first journalism that combines sharp editorial judgment with powerful long-format storytelling. Ma'am, we are truly delighted to have you here with us today. Come on, everyone, let's all applaud for her and welcome her. And now, initiating our first panel on the New Indian Dream, it is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed panelists for this. I would like to welcome Ms. Ira Singhal, IAS, Deputy Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education. She is an IAS officer, 2015 batch, currently serving as Deputy Secretary in the Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education, Government of India. Her work spans governance, education policy, social welfare, urban administration, and public service delivery. She has contributed to election management and voter inclusion as OSD to the Chief Electoral Officer, Arunachal Pradesh, and in earlier field roles, including as SDM in Delhi, she supported rescue and rehabilitation of over 300 children and bonded laborers. Let us all welcome her with a huge round of applause, everyone. Joining her as an honorable panelist is Major General Ashok Narula from the Indian Army. I would request Sir to please join us on the stage and welcome him with a huge round of applause. He is a distinguished veteran of the Indian Army with nearly 4 decades of service and has held several key command appointments across sensitive postings. At Army headquarters, he served as the Army's senior spokesperson and led international defense cooperation initiatives involving 18 countries. Following his retirement, he served with the Embassy of India in Yangon, Myanmar until the age of 60. He has also been a visiting faculty at Geneva Business School and in the recent years has contributed as an independent director and strategic advisor to multiple organizations. He currently serves as a full-time advisor to a specialty steel and alloy steel company. We welcome you, sir, with a huge round of applause, and we are truly delighted to have your presence with us here today. Lastly, as an honorable guest for today's panel discussion, we have Mr. Gaurav Mehta, Joint CEO, School of Ultimate Leadership. He is the Joint CEO of the School of Ultimate Leadership, which is a leadership institution nurturing authentic leaders committed to public good. A former Commodore in the Indian Navy, he brings over 3 decades of experience across high-stakes operations, institution building, public roles, and leadership deployment. An alumnus of the United States Naval War College, King's College London, Mumbai University, and the Cochin University of Science and Technology, he combines strategic depth with operational excellence, shaping leadership execution and mission-driven growth at Seoul. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. It is truly a delight for us to have you here with us today. And now we will begin with the panel discussion. So I would request the moderator, Sikta Dio ma'am, to please take over.
Thank you so much, and a very warm welcome to our panelists, and good morning to all of you. Today we explore, the panel is here to talk about the new Indian dream, which is balancing career, cause, and our country. For India's youth, success these days, as we all know, you all youngsters here, it is not about jobs and salaries. It is also about a purpose, making an impact, and making that difference in the society. So that's how we are navigating our job markets these days, our industries these days, and this is what we would like to understand from our panelists. How have they done their personal journeys can motivate all of you. So, but can personal ambition and nation building go hand in hand and go together is the big question, and that's what we are going to look at today. How do we navigate these choices is another thing, and these youngsters want your guidance for that. So Ms. Singhal, if we start with you.
Good morning.
The big questions later, but
yes,
I would like to start with all 3 personal journeys of yours. I wanted to know, looking back right now, after a successful career, how did you balance your personal ambition and the society contributions at key decision-making points? Was it always easy, or there were some tough times too?
So actually, thank you for the question and thank you for having us here. But actually in my case, my personal ambition was contributing to nation building. So that was easy. I did work in the corporate sector, and I had a very cushiony job, the regular high-profile, high-salary jobs. And that is when I realized that my personal ambition, for my own emotional satisfaction, I needed to be in a career which was about nation building. So for me, it was a choice to switch. And I think that becomes easy, right? If your whole ambition is that, can I contribute to the country? Can I make a difference? Can I do something to take my society forward? So for me, that bit was easy.
So the alignment was easy for
Yes.
you, but is it really easy for your youngsters here?
You know what? I don't think they're at odds. I honestly don't think the two things are contrary to each other. Because if you are doing well in your career, you are a part of the country. If you are doing well for yourself, then as an Indian, wherever you are in the world, though we would want you to be in India doing, achieving your dreams here. But if you're doing that, India is made up of each one of us. And India develops when each one of us is developed. It's not about a land, it's about the people. So when each one of you feels developed, each person feels that their personal ambitions are being fulfilled, I think that's when the country is developing, because that's exactly what we want to do. We want every single citizen to be developed, to feel developed, to achieve their levels of success.
Right.
So it's not contrary, it's actually complementary.
And they go hand in hand. That's what Ms. Singhal is saying. Though, Major General Narula, from military service to diplomacy, we really need to know, where did your personal goals and national commitment naturally reinforce each other, and where did you have difficult choices, if you really had?
Morning, everybody. Thank you very much for the question. Actually, for us, the life has been, means from my generation, I'm speaking of the periods of 80s and 70s and 80s. That time everybody had only limited choices of, say, doctor ban gaya, engineer ban gaya, civil services join kar li, ya uske baad mein his defense forces were there. For me, it was a different journey by itself. I am from a village next door to Gurgaon. We appeared for Sainik school, somehow passed, and then I joined the Sainik school. Now, at 9 years of age, I started wearing uniform and started doing PT parade. So that kind of a discipline started getting ingrained into it. The nation building was part of it, and you are being ingrained into it. From there, you generally look in Sainik school. It is a feeder for National Defence Academy. So went into the National Defence Academy at about 16 years of age. That is the time where you actually get to know what tri-services is and how the training goes on over there. After that, we came back from there to our specialized training to Indian Military Academy. Now, Indian Military Academy, I was there. We do 1 year course. At that time, we are given the Chetwood motto, where it always says that honor, welfare, and goodwill of my country comes first, always and every time. For my people comes next, and I come the last onto that side. So that is something which is ingrained into me, and I continued in a similar manner. Before you realize, it is not even 21 years of age, and you are an officer, and you are given 30 people to lead all around for all kind of tasks. That is actually the best part of life, is that you have got into it, now you are into it, and how do you flourish after this. As far as the Indian Army is concerned, things are charted for you. किस समय में क्या कोर्स करना है, किस समय में आगे जाना है. Things are there, but you must keep moving in that street. Many of people at times tend to lose, but somehow it worked okay for me, and I started commanding my unit. This is a very big point in life, when the unit that you get commissioned into, like I got commissioned to Dogra as 13 Dogra, I got a chance to command 13 Dogra. This is a very big thing in life. There are 800 bodies with you. All 800 bodies, you are training them, and they are working under your command. You feel great about it. And somehow you start getting that power that मुझे जो भी काम मिलेगा मैं उसको अच्छे तरीके से करके निभा सकता हूँ. Because I have a unit which I have trained well, and if I give clear instructions and directions, they will do it to the last point onto that side. So you felt very nice about it. There are 2 more instances, but probably the time is a constraint. I will take you to the last instance, and that is when I was the General Officer commanding in Victor Force. Victor Force is in South Kashmir, and I was a general officer commanding there in 2016. That was tumultuous 2016. I don't know how many of you remember about it. That is a time, one day we were sitting in Governor House, and Governor was Anand Vora. He was speaking all positives about it because the tourism had picked up, apple business was doing well, walnuts were doing well, and Amarnath Yatra was happening and was doing very, very well. Then sometimes things have to go bad or go wrong. There was a terrorist by the name of Burhan Wani. I don't know how many of you are aware about it. Now, he was a cult figure at that time, a social media figure. If he says, कल school नहीं होगा, तो आप और मैं कुछ भी कर ले, अगले दिन school नहीं होगा. If he says this road will be blocked tomorrow, that road will be blocked tomorrow. That was the kind of following that this fellow had. We all were trying to do it. He was in my area. It was incumbent upon me to sort him out. We tried number of times, but because his support base was so high, especially the girls, women, and the youngsters were so much for him, that every time we encircled, he had a escape through and he went by from there. It was only on once, that is on 8th of July, रोज़े ख़त्म हुए थे, ईद ख़त्म हुई थी उसी टाइम पर, उसी समय में he got encircled and he got eliminated. Now I had to declare whether has he been eliminated or not, because the moment I say it is going to erupt. So I had to confirm because I didn't want to make a wrong statement. For that, we have something called SOG, Special Operations Group in Kashmir, who generally are the boys, local boys. So I sent one of the SOG boy over there who recognized him because of his tattoos over there. He said, sir, wahi hai. The moment we said he wahi hai, the Kashmir Valley erupted, and you all can Google it and find out there were more than 100 deaths and about 15,000 plus people on. And there are a lot of international pressure coming on to us, so much of blinding, so much of legs and all kind of things. Now, when it started, for about a month it was very, very bad. All roads blocked, Amarnath Yatra cancelled, schools not working, nothing is happening at that moment. That is the time. Now, it is already a month and we have a date with us, that is 19th of September of 2016. Why is that important? That date is important is because UNGA General Assembly happens, it happens on the 3rd Tuesday of September, and that happened to be 19th September. I am looking forward to it that at least उससे 15-20 दिन पहले या 1 महीना पहले I can stop the things. Because if we don't do it, other side is actually looking forward कि इसके अंदर कुछ ना कुछ चलता रहे. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was supposed to go to UNGA. In our case, it was still not decided. So we were actually under total pressure that it should get control, and somehow things started working, roads opened, schools opened, and things were okay. But then all things can't go correct, I'm saying again. And you all know what happened on 18th of September 2016 when the Uri happened. When Uri happened, things went very, very bad. UNGA's General Assembly started. Nawaz Sharif's number came on 21st of September. He rant and raved about Burhan Wani. He took his name. He took all kind of things into that. But after that, our Foreign Minister, Sushma Swaraj was there. Her number came on 26th. And she sorted him out in a very nice manner. But then you are aware about it. On 28th and 29th of September night, we did our surgical strikes to turn the balance onto the other side. This is how we actually turn into it. We, being a military people, we have a lot of stories to tell. But then time generally remains a constraint. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah. It generally merges into the nation and self.
Well, those are inspiring stories. And the house here will agree with me that listening to the two personal journeys, this is not about any choice. I think career and country can go hand in hand and can go easily. But the big question still remains, Mr. Gaurav Mehta, that many young Indians, do they really have to choose high-paying careers and meaningful impact? Is there a real trade-off, or it's just a mindset issue because it came easily to both of them?
Yes, so good morning. And I'm really thankful and grateful for this very wonderful opportunity to interact with the young people. The question is there a trade-off between a high-paying career and between a service-driven role? And to the best of my mind, practically, the simple answer is a yes. And till the time we acknowledge this, we will not be able to move towards solutioning it. So many young people will be faced with this choice. You will be, as we were. In my personal journey, there are two parts. The first part is when I decided to join the National Defence Academy after quitting the Delhi University into a very beautiful course that I had gotten into. It was a tough choice. I stayed with my choice. Despite my dad coming to the National Defence Academy, and when we were talking about this, I was just reminded of that incident with a small bundle of notes that I have the money to get you out, why don't you go back to engineering? As a young 17-year-old, I made a choice. I stuck to my dream and I lived it. The second critical choice that I made was when I decided that it was time to transition out of the Navy at a very senior rank, when the going was very good, into another role and go back to public service into a role that I truly believed in, to go and join the School of Ultimate Leadership. And we will talk about this school a little bit later. But again, I stuck to my dreams. Will you have to make this choice? Yes. Will you have to make it several times in your life? Yes. Can you align purpose, impact, and aspiration? Yes. Think innovatively. We will talk about it a lot more today, maybe over chai and maybe over lunch, but you can do it. There are many ways that you can do it yourself, and there are many ways that institutions and governments can enable it too. So yes, the answer is there is a perception that there is a gap. In many ways that perception is right. Can it be done? Again, the answer is yes, it can be.
It can be. And before I move to the next question, a quick moral of the story of the first round, Gaurav Mehta. If a 22-year-old wants to serve the nation but feels lost, where should he or she begin?
A 22-year-old, all of you, will not feel lost. You will never feel lost. If you are lost, the country is lost. But if I had a piece of advice to give you, it would be just one word: be fearless. Don't wait for any permission from anyone. As we grow up, we tend to think that everyone else knows more than you. And that is why I always keep saying that in India we write the least number of books and we publish the least amount of research. So while it is a lot of Guru and Shishya tradition that we must touch everyone's feet, we must take everyone's blessings, and yet I keep telling the young people, don't be subservient in any way.
Well,
What is research? Research is, Sikta said this, Narula sir said this, and yet I feel that it is neither this nor this. It is this because of this reason. It is the courage of your conviction that converts to writing. It is your courage of conviction that will take this country forward. First, don't be scared. 2, you don't need my advice. And 3, and most importantly, don't wait for anyone's permission. March on.
yeah, quickly.
See, whenever you have to make a choice, it is your choice and nobody else's choice. So that choice has to be made by you. I'll give an example of a chap called Captain Vikram Batra, a Dil Mange More Paramir Chakra. I'm sure you would have read his story, otherwise you would have seen his movie at least. And now this fellow is son of a school teacher from Palampur. Now his father wanted him to do medicine. So he came to DAV college in Chandigarh and started doing his medicine. But his calling was not for medicine, and he wanted to look towards the defense forces. He waited for 1 year, waited for 2 years. Thereafter, he said, I am done. I will look toward this side. Appeared the first time, did not make it. Appeared the second time, did not make it. Appeared the third time, made it. And at 24 years of age, he was what he did. Most cannot emulate in that manner. That is in case you have a calling. You will rise to the occasion and do what you wish to do at that.
Two things: be fearless and do what you want to do. Nobody should tell you, not even your parents. Yeah? Okay. Moving ahead. Ms. Singhal, you work with the Department of School Education and Literacy, and you must be interacting a lot of people in that sector, and students too, and youngsters. What I really need to know from you is what Young India is optimizing for. Is the new Indian dream shifting towards societal impact, or is it still income, still the dominant driver for the youngsters and the students today?
So I think when we were in college, income was the primary driver. But today's youth has shifted more towards a meaningful career. They are shifting more towards wanting to make a difference for, that dream of societal impact. That has actually come back into play for them. But I don't necessarily agree that they are not lost. A lot of them are. Because somewhere the family pressure is still about societal success, which is in terms of, status recognition. And that pressure, they are constantly having to bear from their parents. So, that I think is there. In their own minds, in their own hearts, a lot of them want to be in the social impact space, but then there is that social family pressure for a social status career. And I think that exists. Income may not be from their own perspective as well as the family perspective. I don't think that income pressure is there as much, which was back, let's say 15 years ago, 20 years ago. That's not there as much. But yes, this pressure is there that you have to be something that we can tell the world that you are this person. So that still exists. And the way I would see that you need to balance this is, one, don't think in a narrow box. What is happening is, you live with parents who have seen traditional careers flourish, and they sort of want to push you towards them. But there are a lot of careers out there in the world that can actually make that impact. So I'll tell you a simple thing. If you're in the corporate sector, let's say, and that corporate slave thing, that's so not done anymore. But let's say you are that. So what you can do is you can actually give your time on the weekends to a cause that you believe in, or you can actually work for CSR initiatives, you can work for NGOs, or you can join roles like us here. So there are a lot of ways, there are a lot of means of making an impact, and trust me on this, a lot of the times we actually need people to sponsor the activities in the initiatives that we are taking. So for example, I have done at least 4 or 5 projects wherein I took CSR funding, and we did not have money in the government, but because some people in the in the corporate sector wanted to make an impact, we could do that. So it's not just one way. And I think to answer your primary question, income is not the priority as much anymore. Of course, you all need money to survive, but income is not the primary priority anymore as it was 15 years ago.
So if you're passionate about nation building, there's a ways and means to do it.
Yes.
Like you said, maybe be in a corporate job, but weekends are there. Like 1 or 2 hours in the weekend is enough to contribute as a member of our society. Mr. Mehta, the question is, are young Indians dreaming bigger today, but there is a sense of uncertainty too, like you are reinforcing that don't be fearless, choose what is right for you, what is your inner calling. But the bigger question is the challenges. Where is the ambition opportunity gap most binding today? Is it skills? Is it geography? Is it access?
The question is, where is the gap for young India? I think in this room, the young people represented is a very urban young India. But maybe through this stage, we will be able to reach out to another young India. Is the gap, is the geographical gap translating to a gap in opportunities? My answer is yes. There is still a gap between a bigger city and a smaller city in terms of opportunities. I think our knowledge landscape largely has got blurred because of the internet. The access to information and the access to knowledge is now no longer geographically divided. But what is truly divided are still the opportunities. Opportunities are, there's a clear mismatch. Where is the other mismatch in front of all of you? Especially I would relate it to public life. I think a lot of you, when you go to your schools, colleges, you go to your counselors, when you go to your career counselors, there is a whole string of things they will tell you of what you can do in the corporate sector. They will also probably tell you what you can do in the public sector in the known domains. That means anything that comes out of UPSC, that is all three of us, whether military also is a part of that same exam. It will also tell you everything that's known. What I think is the gap is that we do not map the alternate career options very well in our career counseling stage. There is a host of opportunities out there in the public space. Ira ji mentioned some. Many of these are fellowships. Many of them are internships. You just see the landscape that's out there. And I am not talking of a small number. Even the paid internships in India in this public space for a young graduate with very decent plus money are available in thousands. And you can go through, browse that data yourself, but I feel there is a gap in that knowledge system, in that exposure to bring forth to our children that these opportunities are available. And I think these are two critical gaps. And if I were to point to a third critical gap, I would say that is mentorship. Young people have stopped this whole idea of speaking to somebody as a mentor. And this is a very, very important culture professionally. When you speak to a mentor, you seek professional advice. Very traditionally, this was anchored in our parents, but that is not adequate. This is also a gap. This is an inadequacy in our system. So I would say three things. One, the geographical divide in opportunities exists. We can talk about how to bridge them, and there are ways to bridge them. The second is, are they aware of the entire spectrum of opportunities? Perhaps not as much as I would like to see them be aware. I see a gap. And the third is the ability for young people to reach out to senior people professionally for mentorship, for greater guidance.
Right. So what we need to understand here, when we talk about the gaps, the challenges, how are we preparing our youth, our youngsters today? Are we just helping them for a job, or we are also helping them prepare for the responsibilities, for the cause, for the country? Major General Narula, what values, whether it's discipline or resilience or sense of purpose, should institutions cultivate early to strengthen our national capability?
See, as far as the students are concerned, I'm sure the college and the schools which are running, whether it's the government schools or the private. I am from a government school till about class 5, and thereafter it was the Sainik school. Everywhere, if it is a mentorship is there, or if the teachers are fully ingrained into it, the first principle or the first thing that they ingrain into us is the discipline. It is with discipline that I can actually gain much over the other people. Other than that, is my resilience thereafter as to how far do I carry my passion. If I decide for something and I do it regularly and continuously, probably I will be able to do it and do it in a much, much better manner.
Ms. Singhal, how can educational institutions contribute to this to become a genuine pathway of career builders and also life choices? How much is happening on ground?
So currently, I'll talk about school education, and this roughly translates into higher education as well. One, within the school system, now if you see, CBSE has also made it mandatory for career counselors to exist. So now we have compulsory career counseling in the school and in the government schools as well. We've got the system of career counseling. There has also been an app which has been launched, which is a career counseling app. So within that, it takes into perspective your talents in academics, your skills, which is your, are you good at singing, dancing, painting, all of those curricular sports, or maybe leadership roles, those kind of things, as well as your personal attitudes. So any skills you have in terms of behavioral skills. So all of that is put into a single picture. And then of course your interests, tastes, and the kind of dreams you see for yourself. Not in terms of I want to be a doctor, but I want to larger picture goals. And basis that you are guided in down careers. So that system is currently in place. I am talking today, maybe if you're all college students, you wouldn't have seen it, but it is there now. Similarly, colleges are also having counselors, though, when you reach college, you're expected to have sort of come to a place where you have a career in mind. So, if you're into an engineering college, you're sort of expected to know that you're going to be an engineer. Maybe you may have an alternate dream, but largely that thing is set for you. But at the college level as well, there is counseling available, and then we have all these online counseling apps, which are free apps, and then you have paid systems. So I think that bit is being taken care of, where if you have a larger perspective in mind of how you see yourself, there is help available, there is services available, and there are facilities which sort of guide you down a few choices, and then you can pick from those. So that system does exist now.
Right. The bigger question is, can India make risk-taking safer for young people, or a meta? What concrete support systems, she's talking about there's a lot happening on the ground, but can help a youth navigate the transitions, whether college to work, reskilling, or new careers?
What can we do to make it better? I think this is a good opportunity for me to talk to you about what we are doing. Right now, we are at the School of Ultimate Leadership. And what we are doing is we are creating a first of its kind institution in India, which will train the youth political leaders for the future. It is unprecedented in India. What will it do? It will make politics achievable, aspirational, within the structured learning pathways, with mentorship and experiential learning. So what should we do? We should do more of this. We should provide structured learning pathways for young people to be able to pursue the dreams of your choice. And this is not the only choice. You have many choices. And wherever you go, I have only one piece to tell you. Whatever you do, just as we say in the military, do your duty and do it well. Just do your bit and do it well. We choose 3 words always: integrity, altruism, which is seva, and excellence. And never forget the 3rd word: strive for excellence. Do your duty and do it well. That's
right.
it.
Do it well, be fearless. A lot of new things I'm also learning for my reskilling. Major General Narula, how do we build institutional cultures that reward experimentation and resilience rather than the fear of failure?
See, when we talk about let's talk about the job market these days. In today's world, when we are talking about it, the 15% of the jobs are being taken by the IT people. We are aware about it. 40% are by the GCCs, which are coming into it. And then 10% is by banking, 5% is by these people who are manufacturing, 3% is by the government, 12% is by other people, and it is 15% which is by the new startups which are there. We as the government have just about 3% of it. The 15% which is coming from the new people who are doing the startups part of it is the one which will take our India to a different part of it. If you look about it, about 2016, we had 9,000 people, the startups were there, whereas in 2016, in 26, we have more than 100,000, and 110 are unicorns out of those. This is where the thing comes into it that I got to do it. Now, when we talk about these new startups which are there, the failure rate is 82%, which is not bad, because that is where the mentorship comes into it. That is where the people who are helping you out will come into play at that moment. If you see the UPSC results also, the first time people who want to become IAS officer, first time is only 7%. It is the second time it is 14 to 18, the third time 26 to 27%. The success rate goes up in that manner. Same happens into this kind of a thing when you start the startups part of it. If it fails, well, it is the second time, well, it is the third time. The counter argument comes, how long does he have the appetite for it? Well, if it is the one idea, things can be, then all people who are venture capitalists, they will all line up for you onto that side. So we need to take chances into it. When we say 18% and 15% of the jobs by these people, though it looks good on paper, it is still not good enough. Because when we compare it with China and US, 70% of the jobs are coming from the new startups which are there. In any case, when we talk about startups, they say, if you are not embarrassed by the idea that you're floating for the first time, then it is actually not good enough. You should have done it earlier. So be forthcoming, be into it, and look for the good people. I'm sure things will work out.
Things will fall in place. We are reaching the end of this session. This young house is bubbling with a lot of questions for all three of you. We'll open the house to them. But before we conclude this discussion, one common question to three of you from my side is, what does credible, modern definition of success look like for students entering today's job market?
I think it's when you can, in a vacuum, feel peaceful and feel satisfied with who you are. So for me, I think your true success is the day you really like yourself. And the day you stop hiding from yourself, the day you appreciate yourself independent of what others think of you. And that's, for me, the day you can feel successful.
That's beautiful. Gaurav Mehta.
Fulfillment of a job or a mission or a dream is far more important and gratifying than any position or any pay. They cannot be compensated. Pursue your dream for the fulfillment of your mission, your purpose, and your happiness. That's what I would like to say. Thank you.
Major General Narula.
If we see today's market, job market, a lot of youngsters are looking for the ESG aligned jobs onto that side. Because he's looking forward to that, what I am doing over there, my calling should be there. And if I am doing a job which is of my calling, I should be able to face my mirror in the morning time and look into the eyes that I am doing what I wish to do and I'm doing it in a perfect manner. I am not undercutting anywhere. Thank you.
On that note, my questions are over now. It's time for you all. You all can start asking the questions here.
Thank you so much for such an insightful discussion. And now that we've received a lot of questions from the audience, but we'll try to take a few of them. So I will call out the name of the student and you can stand so that we can hand over the mic to you. So first we have Tanishka Chaurasia from Miranda House. Please stand so that we can hand over the mic to you. Tanishka Chaurasia, yes. Please can we have the mic? You can ask your question now.
Thank you, ma'am. So my question is like India is one of the fastest growing major economy in the world today. So do you think that GDP growth is really translating into real income growth?
Who do you want that question to be answered from?
From Ira, ma'am.
I don't look at GDP growth. I look at the equality index to really think if we have all done that. So GDP can be great in a country where two people exist. If one person is doing extremely well, the growth, you can have high growth. So for me, I think the more important index you should look at is the equality index, and has the growth, how many people have grown. So when we look at those numbers, I think there is definitely growth, but inequality, I wouldn't say has been eliminated to that extent. So we're still a society where some people get more opportunities, and it's the structure and the historical legacy that we have. We still need to fix that. But there is definitely growth and there is momentum. And, back in times when not everybody had a landline telephone at home, to everybody on the road having phones, and most people having two phones, and everybody having a voice, having access to resources, that's huge growth. So we have grown, but I think a better measure is the inequality from the terms that you're asking about.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for the answer. Moving forward to the next question by Athrav Ranjan from Shri Aurobindo College. Athrav, please stand so that we can hand over the mic to you. You can ask your question now.
It is in business or marketing. We cover great stories, and we also, like I said, I come from a place now called the School of Ultimate Leadership. We believe that leadership lies in values and ethics. You see the growth of several Indian companies that are anchored in values. Even a global giant which started in a garage with borrowed money like Infosys is such an inspirational story in terms of values, and it is Indian. You look at any story around you that is deeply inspirational, and they will tell you how to balance it. You look at the story of the person sitting to my left right now. I think she needs a very big round of applause. I monitored her story. No, truly it takes guts. It takes guts for a lot of things that we have done. You go through the stories of people and how they balance ambition and purpose, what they can and they cannot do. And like I started by saying, you will have a choice. You will be faced with choices all your life. You will always have two things to choose from: the harder right and the easier wrong. You will always make that choice in every sphere of your life. My request is, choose the harder right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for answering the question. And now moving forward to the next question from Ravi Shankar Yalamarthi from IIT Dhanbad. Please stand so that we can hand over the mic to you.
Yeah. My question is like, when you had a choice to take between personal career and serving public, how did you decide that? This is to Gaurav's.
A private career and a public career. I think she has said that. She was always wanting a public career, and so has he. I think I'm the only one who had that little dilemma right in the beginning, that I had a choice to make, but I was very clear as a 17-year-old that I wanted to be a pilot, and I wanted to be a fighter pilot. I don't think we have ever faced that dilemma, whether it's public life or not. But those, like I said, those choices you will have to answer for yourself. Does that gap exist? Yes. Will you have a choice? Yes. Who will make that tough choice? You will. Should you look for advice? No. Should you look for mentorship? to have a deep conversation with somebody, yes, you should.
Thank you, sir, for answering the question. And now we will take the last question from Aryan Pandey from Hansraj College. Please stand so that we can hand over the mic to you.
So, good morning, everyone. So, currently, nation building initiatives are predominantly target middle and upper middle class youth who can balance careers with social causes. We are neglecting a vast segment, young people struggling for basic livelihood and education. For economically disadvantaged youth, contributing to the nation is visible almost exclusively through armed forces recruitment only. They don't see themselves in entrepreneurship, innovation, policy, or social movements. Nation building feels like a distant privilege, not a practical reality for them. So my question is, how do we create an accessible pathway that connect livelihood with national purpose for its demographic? And what frameworks beyond military service through skilled trades, community leadership, grassroots innovation, or local governance can help them see their daily work as a meaningful contribution? And my question is towards Major General Narula, sir.
So he's asking what is the right way to go forward with accessibility and also nation building, because right now a lot of people are struggling to get basic education, healthcare.
See, as of now, a lot of schemes are available and a lot of facilities are available. If I have to we were from a strata which was almost, because we are from a village where nothing much grows over there. Then the chances of the studying school came up. In the similar manner, at this moment, there are a lot of facilities and schemes which are available for the children from the lower strata, that they can, if they are worthy of themselves, they can get admissions into this, and complete governmental support comes to it. Once the governmental support is there, if a boy is okay, he reaches to where he is bound to. I'll give an example of my own driver. He is the one, his son, he's got 3 sons. One son is very bright. Finally, we tried for him, gave him a bit of coaching, and put him into Navodaya Vidyalaya. He is doing exceedingly well. There's no money required from any side. It goes on to it, and he wants to become a doctor. I'm sure in days to come, we'll support him and he'll reach where he wants to reach. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering the question. And now I would like you all to please extend a huge round of applause for this insightful panel discussion on the new Indian dream. Before we close the session, I also want to extend a note of thanks to our moderator and panelists for such an inspiring and grounded discussion. We are really grateful for the perspectives shared here, and also for the reminder that building a meaningful career and contributing to the country can and should go hand in hand. And now we will take a brief 10-minute transition break. So I request our panelists to please kindly join us off the stage. And for our audience, we request you to kindly remain seated. Thank you so much.